Hey guys, Ron here, and it's time to answer your questions. Of course, I can't thank you guys enough for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. It's a lot. But in order to thank you guys, I'll just get right into the Q&A because actions speak louder than words. But before we go on, make sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter because there's no reason for me to just answer your questions in a video. I can just answer your questions directly on social media. So please try to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, but so I can answer your lovely questions. Okay, let's start the video off with the question from my good friend Professor Bulba from BulbaTube. So his question is, what's the meaning of life? Or what video have you made that you are most proud of? Not based on views or feedback, but that you feel is your favorite. Well, actually, for a long time, my favorite was my top 10 cutest Pokemon video, and that turned out to be actually my most popular video, and that may actually be the video that kicked off my channel. But, and I liked it because it was, there's a lot of comedy in it. I put a lot of effort into the comedy, and apparently everybody liked it. But, currently, the video that I am most proud of is my Starter Origins video. I was working so hard on that. There were so many editing tricks and transitions in that video and keyframing. It was a lot of hard work, and I didn't know that people would like it that much because it was just a fact video, not on my opinions. But in the end, everybody loved it, and I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna have to continue that. I already finished the script, but it's amazing how the videos that you worked hard on turn out to be the ones that do really well, and I'm glad that the ones that I put more effort into do a lot better than the ones that I don't. I mean, I put a lot of effort in all my videos. But sometimes you never know. Sometimes ideas work better with editing. Zemmer Galpez asks, what real-world country or area do you think should be turned into a region in the Pokemon games? I have two choices. Either Vancouver, Canada, and its surrounding areas, because I hear that it's really beautiful. Republic City from Korra was based on, just the surroundings was based on that. And New York City, obviously, but we already have Unova. Other than Vancouver, I think really the area, the continent that I need the next region to be based off would be South America in general. I mean, I think it would be awesome to have places in the region based on Peruvian sites like Machu Picchu and the Nazca Lines and Lake Titicaca, and having various Inca and Maya and Aztec influences throughout the region would look amazing. I mean, we could have pyramids and a lot of really cool stuff. It's a very cultured area. Benamon9 asks, if you lived in the world of Pokemon, which town or city would you live in? I would live in Lily Cove. I've always wanted to live in Lily Cove, in that town, because I always fly there for the lottery corner and the Berry Master, and the surrounding routes are beautiful. It has both a city life and a beach scene, and that's perfect. I like also going in Oras to the lighthouse during the sunset and just sitting on the bench. You know, the angle changes and you see the clouds. It's amazing. It's a beautiful place, and the music is good too. Redshade asks, what is your favorite part of the Pokemon games, or just the franchise in general, like the music, gameplay, lore, etc.? Well, yes, I think the music is a big part of why I love Pokemon. It's amazing, and it attracted me to Pokemon in a different way that I never thought I would. But what first attracted me to Pokemon were the Pokemon themselves, you know, the creatures. The concept of these superpowered creatures is really amazing, and the fact that you can befriend them is really cool. And but from an artist's perspective, I really like the designs of Pokemon. Ken Sugimori found a really good style. It's like neither too detailed. It's not too detailed so they don't look scary, but they're not too cartoony. It's a fine medium between them. So the style at which Pokemon are drawn and rendered is really nice. I think that's what attracted me the most. You know, as an artist, I drew a lot of Pokemon as a kid. Robert asks, what gen do I hate? I don't hate any gen. I think every gen has a different reason for why it's amazing, and I have some kind of order, but it always changes if I just go back to, you know, play the games and gain new appreciation for the region. Because, like, let's say Unova, I liked Unova, but I loved it once I played Black and White 2. Once I played those games, I loved them even more. I had appreciation for the music. But overall, I love all the gens. But I guess my least favorite is Gen 2 because I just wasn't around during Gen 2. I wasn't a huge Pokemon fan at the time. I was very little. I was introduced during Gen 1. You know, I kicked back during Gen 2, came back during Gen 3, and then from then on I was a big Pokemon fan. I mean, I love Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, part of Gen 4. Those were the best, probably the best. They were the best Pokemon games, and I loved them. But Gold and Silver, I never played them, and I just don't. And Crystal, I didn't. That generation's not I'm not attached to that generation like I am to other generations. Like, I'm even attached to Gen 5 and 6 somehow. Like, I have some kind of nostalgia for those generations, the generations that just happened. But not for Gen 2, because I never had any memory from Gen 2. Angel Advices asks, what region had the most amazing soundtrack other than Hoenn? Ho-ho. Now I'm going to accompany that question with the wonderful Bowerclose's question, which is, which games have the most unique soundtrack, and why? Okay, so to combine those questions, again, I did answer this in my last Q&A, but I think this is the most important question to come across and to answer. So to answer both of these questions, I'm going to say that each region's soundtrack is different and has something amazing about it. I'll go through each generation and tell you that, let's say Kanto had the soundtrack that's the most perfect. It has no failures, but that's because there weren't a lot of themes in Kanto. So Kanto, every soundtrack, every song, every theme in the game was great, but there weren't a lot of them. Johto's soundtrack is pretty similar to Kanto, so I think it's the least unique out of all of them. But it personally had a lot of my favorite soundtracks from each category. Like, I have my favorite champion themes, my favorite town themes, maybe my favorite cave themes. My favorite themes from each category are from Johto. Hoenn had the most epic soundtrack. Out of all the regions, for example, the amazing legendary battles, the Elite Four, the Frontier Battle, Battle Frontier, Brain Battle, Zinnia, Archie, all the Meteor Falls, Victory Road, even the surf music was pretty epic. The epic music is Hoenn's thing, because I guess trumpets make things epic. Sinnoh is the opposite. It has the most mellow music. It has the calmer music. Out of all the regions, it has perfectly calm music that you want to relax to. Like Eternal Forest, all the amazing routes, the Pokemon League, you know, that piano soundtrack when you're sitting outside of the league. In addition to all the night themes that they have in the region, that make the soundtracks even more calmer and more relaxed. And the jazz, there's a jazz theme throughout the whole Sinnoh soundtrack, and that makes it even more soothing. Kalos had the best sounding soundtrack, you know, with a good mix of electronic and traditional, you know, acoustic guitars and traditional instruments. But Unova, in my opinion, had the most complete and unique soundtrack. It has music based on classical American anthems, jazz, Latin American, Native American, even some European kind of music. It's all a great mix of different sounds and instruments, and all subtle changes in the soundtracks during the seasons. It has a lot of high notes, so those make the songs very emotional. You'll hear everything about that once I make my top 10, my top 20 even, Unova soundtracks. It's the best soundtrack in my opinion Unova has, and it's basically also because Black 2 added a lot of great songs, choruses, the tournament final, championship, Hugh's theme. They're all really good. Game Freak really tried to make Unova's soundtrack different, because it's just like Gen 4, it has music made for the DS, and they had to make it sound a little different, and they made it sound really different actually. It's easy to tell when a song's Gen 4 or Gen 2, Gen 4 or Gen 5, but they really added a lot of unique songs, especially in Black and White 2. They added a lot of new songs, so the Black and White and Black and White 2 together have the most complete soundtrack out of any region. It has a lot of music and a lot of unique songs, like choruses theme. I mean, where else will you find a song with like 5, 4, 3, a countdown? Wasima asks, so proud of you, True Green. My question is, what's your favorite fairy type? Gardevoir is one of my favorite Pokemon, but I'll disqualify it because for a long time it wasn't a fairy type, and that's not part of its charm. Even though it's a perfect fairy type, it makes sense that it's a fairy type. I think my favorite fairy type is Sylveon. It's beautiful, so cute. I really like Sylveon, and Xerneas would be second. Jumpatron 3000 asks, who is your favorite Pokemon bad guy team? Each team has something special about it, but I guess I do have a team that I like more. I like Team Rocket's simplicity, but they're not my favorite. I like, you know, the simplicity of their plan. I really like Cyrus and Lysander as leaders. I really like those characters, but their teams were boring and you know, not really organized. They weren't memorable, their teams. I like the story presented through Team Plasma and the lore. So, but I guess I love Maxie and Archie as characters. I really like them. They're the only ones that actually pulled through with their plans. You know, they succeeded, and they actually, you know, they made a reversal. They changed their minds and they became good guys, I guess, after they, you know, they decided to abandon their plan and do good. And their teams were actually well organized, and they did things and they were there throughout the story. Nice pacing, I guess, throughout the story. And but Team Aqua is more fun, but Team Magma is more organized. So I'd say Team Magma is my favorite team, but Team Aqua's, I like their admins, and I like Archie. So yeah. Duck and Forest asks, what is your least favorite Mega Evolution and why? Mega Diancie. I think it's unnecessary, and especially since most of the Mega Evolutions are fan favorites. I guess I'm just not attached to Diancie that much. Diancie, sorry. The least. So I guess I like Diancie the least out of all the Mega Evolutions. I don't hate it though, and I like Diancie, I guess. Ethan Hansey asks, what is your favorite Pokemon theme of all time? Well, it constantly changes. I have a list of a lot of the themes that I think are the best, and I love them to death. My number one theme never stays on top. I can say that most of the champion battles are on the list. Here I have a list. The Weather Trio battle theme is there. The Kalos Spike theme, Eternal Forest, Azalea Town, and a lot of the Villainous Team boss themes are on the list. I can say that Lance and Red's theme are definitely in the top 2. That theme is definitely in the top 2. I don't know if it's number 1 yet, but so I hope that satisfies your question. The Cool Hat 5 asks, or V, what is your favorite song from a game of all time, not just Pokemon? I do enjoy Green Hill Zone, Mega Man 6's Mr. X stages, the Legend of Zelda theme song. There's some of my favorite non-Pokemon themes from video games, but I'm 100% sure that my favorite my favorite video game song of all time is from Pokemon. I'll say for now, Red and Lance. Their theme is amazing. Missingno asks, what was your first shiny Pokemon? My first shiny Pokemon was Trapinch from Emerald in Route 111. I was training in the desert for my battle with Norman. And it was just a matter of time because I was there for a long time training with my Grovyle. It evolved into a Sceptile, and this was like 5 years ago. I currently have a shiny Flygon in my party. He's really awesome. As Earthquake and stuff like that, but I've caught a few other shinies after that. My most recent was a shiny Lotad in Alpha Sapphire. That was awesome, but you never forget your first. Robin Miller asks, have you ever found a shiny or lost a shiny in any game? So yes, I found shinies throughout my playthroughs, but I never lost a shiny. But I'm always afraid whenever I encounter a Pokemon and I just run away without looking at the Pokemon that I just ran away from a shiny Pokemon. I'm sure you guys have the same feeling sometimes. It's just a scary thought. Speaking of shinies, Oscar asks, what is your favorite shiny? Mine, Sceptile. He's also my fave. I do enjoy shiny Sceptile. And I'm actually glad that a lot of the shiny Pokemon are green, like shiny Nidoqueen and Beedrill and Poliwrath. So it's a tie between all of those greens, all those green shinies. But a shiny Pokemon that's not green, that I love a lot, so probably my favorite non-green shiny is Emboar. It has that blue Azula fire thing going on. It's really nice. You should check it out. It's right here. A lot of shiny questions. Stupid Raptor asks, Stupid Raptor, do you have a shiny Sceptile? I do not. If you don't, would you Masuda method or for hours, if not days, to get one? Also, what would you think of a future Pokemon based on a Mantis Shrimp? I don't have one, and I think it should. I think a Trico would be the Pokemon I would Masuda method for. Yeah, I would do that. I think a Mantis Strip Pokemon would be amazing. It would look good. It would better have like all the cool abilities a normal Mantis Strip has, like crazy good eyes. Like its eyes are amazing, probably the best eyes in the animal kingdom, and the claws, that are very dangerous. These three lovely people ask why Sceptile is my favorite Pokemon. Well, my favorite color has always been green ever since I was very little, and when it came time to choose my first starter Pokemon in my first ever Pokemon game, which was Ruby, I chose Trico because I was attracted to his color and his size. He was the only one standing up out of the other starters, and he's also the one that looked the most cool. The other ones looked cute, and I wanted a cool Pokemon, and as Trico evolved, I loved him even more. Each form, each evolution was cooler looking. And that's what was so awesome about Sceptile. That Trico was cool, Grovyle was even cooler, Sceptile was the coolest. And Swampert and Blaziken are really awesome, I really like them, but they don't keep the same charm that they have when they are Torchic or Mudkip. Like, Torchic becomes a fierce Blaziken, and a cute Mudkip becomes also a fierce-looking, intimidating Swampert. But Trico goes from cool to even cooler. And that's what's amazing about Sceptile. But also Sceptile, Ash's Sceptile in the anime made me love Sceptile even more. I watched the anime at the same time, and Sceptile was amazing. Like, it was the best Sceptile in the world. The Omega Sceptile says, Sceptile is my favorite Pokemon too. I was wondering why he's your favorite Pokemon and which design do you like better, Sceptile or Mega Sceptile? He personally likes Mega Sceptile. I really like the simplicity of normal Sceptile's design, but I would totally agree that Mega Sceptile, his design choices were cooler, and they were phenomenal. Basically, they were really smart. All of his traits stem from actual geckos. I like the missile tail and the leaf head, leaf, the cutout leaf, and the eyeliner. It's pretty amazing. The red eyeliner gets even more intimidating looking. But I think Mega Sceptile's design is better than normal Sceptile, but I still like normal Sceptile better, just by a little bit. Secret Bob asks, what's your favorite Kalos Pokemon? My favorite Kalos Pokemon would be a tie between Talonflame, Malamar, and Pangoro. I think they're some of the coolest looking Pokemon and very fierce looking, intimidating Pokemon out of any region. They're really good looking. Tanana Combs asks, what's your opinion on you, Sabotage, leaving YouTube? I asked this question because I seen you in one of his streams. I can't blame him for leaving YouTube, especially since he's doing something that he loves better, over on Twitch, streaming. He's a hilarious person, but making list-based videos is not for a person who just doesn't like editing or doesn't enjoy editing or isn't good at editing. I'm not saying he's bad at editing, but apparently he just didn't enjoy editing. So yes, I'm sad and angry, but not at Ben, but just at the situation. Speaking of Ben Pie, you Sabotage asks, why are you so good at editing? I just have been doing it for a long time, and it's part of my career choice, so there you go. Aberman asks, what do you envision for the future of Pokemon? How will the series change, and will it still be the same series that captivated you with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald? I just see that the Pokemon world will expand. The region will get bigger. The routes hopefully will get bigger too. The Pokemon will get more complicated because that's how it is. The Pokemon designs become more complicated as the designs within the game are able to sustain complicated looking Pokemon. So now that it's 3D, you can have really crazy looking Pokemon, and they're probably gonna add more game mechanics. I don't see a new type in the near future. Hopefully more landscapes to traverse, like diving and flying and soaring. Those are amazing things added in Gen 6 in Oras. Hopefully more things like that will be implemented in the next generation, and also things like the the Dex Nav in Oras was a huge thing. Hopefully they keep that. I really hope they keep that in the next generation. Jordy asks, aside from making these videos, what other activities do you have? Well, last year making videos was my hobby because I was the head of the video productions at my high school. But now that I'm in college, I just listen. I have a lot of work, and while I commute to my school, I do listen to a lot of Pokemon music. I play Pokemon whenever I can. Haven't been playing it lately because of work and schoolwork, and the channel. So it's less Pokemon these days. But I watch a lot of movies, drawing and biking when the weather is nice outside. In New York, can't really bike in the winter. But spring is coming and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna bike outside. It's gonna be amazing. But these are the things that I do that don't involve friends. Megalo Husky asks, any other favorite titles, anime, shows, books, games, etc., other than Pokemon and Legend of Korra / Legend of Aang? Well, yes, Pokemon and Avatar are my favorite franchises out of anything in the world. I'm obsessed with them, and I just got into anime, so I love Attack on Titan. Death Note also is amazing. Death Note's amazing. And I'm into another anime that I've started watching. I'm not going to tell you guys just in case you guys are terrible and want to spoil it for me in the comment section. But I'm a huge fan of DC and Marvel, comics, the movies, the shows, and the comic books themselves. I like all classic franchises like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, classic, don't want to say guy franchises, but the franchises that I should like, because those are amazing, and I'm a huge Nintendo fan. Joshua Williams asks, do you think Kirby and Jigglypuff would make a cute couple? Yeah, they'd be perfect. The mighty fine Mr. Kalos asks, have you played the new Smash? If so, what do you think of the Pokemon representation in the game? Well, I've played a little of the 3DS version. I personally don't have the Wii U. My brother does. He plays the Wii U version almost every single day, and I've watched enough of it because we live in the same room. I've watched enough of him playing that game to have an opinion on it. I think the game's amazing, but I think the Pokemon representation is logical. The Pokemon chosen makes sense. I would have loved Blaziken in it or Metagross, but it just doesn't make sense to put them in, especially 2 fire type starters would make no sense. Greninja was a pretty cool, it was pretty cool to put in Greninja, and the Mewtwo DLC is underway, and that's the best. You can't complain because there are enough Pokemon representing Pokemon as a franchise within this amazing game. Dragonite asks, do you like watching the Pokemon series, and do you have a favorite character in it? Yes, the anime was my favorite thing as a child, and it's what introduced me to the Pokemon world. My favorite character to this day, I guess, is May. I really like her evolution as a character, and her dynamic with Ash, Ash as a mentor to May, and May slowly becoming his rival almost. Have you seen the episode where they battle in a Pokemon contest? Also, she really made Ash seem smart, and she made him look like he knew what he was doing, and I like that. Pokemon Laboratory asks, from which day you get the start to watch Pokemon? So I started to watch the series when I was 3, around that time, and I watched until the 2nd season in Sinnoh. I was about 12 at the time, so the comedy, the humor wasn't that amusing, and the stories weren't that great. But Ash's Sinnoh League battles were amazing, and there were some really good story arcs with Paul. But I just recently started watching Pokemon again with Pokemon X and Y, that series, and I started watching that when it came out. So that's my Pokemon anime history biography. Mison Khan asks, do you still watch the new Pokemon anime? If so, what do you think of it so far? Well, yes, I do. And I definitely think the animation itself is amazing. The best animation in any series of Pokemon. It looks really good. The writing and characters are also way better than the Universe region seasons. But I don't like Team Rocket. They've become terrible. They're the worst. They're so annoying. And Ash is also still childish and dumb. But at least he's not as bad as the last season, and also the battling is amazing in this season. There's some good battles in this series. The ever-loyal Dragon Cross 42 asks, what got you started on your channel? Well, I knew I wanted to make a YouTube channel for a long time, and once the X and Y hype started, my love for Pokemon rekindled. It was just a good time, you know, keeping, you know, updating myself with all the Pokemon news and just researching a lot about Pokemon at that time. And it was at that time that I started, you know, appreciating Pokemon way more. So I made a top 10 Pokemon video, the top 10 favorite Pokemon video, my first video ever on this channel that has to do with Pokemon. And after that, I still didn't know if I wanted to make a Pokemon channel yet. I was gonna do still animation, talk about animation. But once the ORAS hype started, I knew that, yep, I wanted to make a Pokemon channel, and I had a whole summer to work on that, and I did. That's what I did. This is True Green 7, guys. Rachel Blanton asks, you watch any PokeTubers? I don't watch any of the PokeTubers that do battles and Let's Plays, really, because I just don't. I don't know. I know they're talented, they're really funny, and they're really cool guys, but and girls, I guess. But but I do watch all the Pokemon trivia channels and all the list-based Pokemon channels. And I do watch, almost every day I try to find a Pokemon remix that I like, or a Pokemon orchestration, so I listen to a lot of Pokemon remixes and orchestrations throughout my life, my days. Amethyst asks, who inspired you to make a YouTube channel? I say it would be a combination of J-Wish's success. I keep on saying J-Witch. I don't know why. It's a combination of J-Wish's success, Tamashi's structure, and Dookie Shed's comedy, and JonTron's genius level writing that made me really want to make videos about Pokemon. While I know I can't be funnier than JonTron, I can definitely edit better than J-Wits and Tamashi and all those others. Natashi Mukiyama asks, how did you feel just getting like 10 subscribers? I didn't feel like anything, because my first 10 subscribers were just random people that just subscribed before I even made videos. I didn't even make videos when I had 10 subscribers. So, The Insane Gamer 10 asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you scream when you found out you had reached 10,000 subscribers? 0, because I didn't scream at all. His actual question is, if you were a Pokemon, anyone besides the Prequel family, what would it be? I'll answer that with the other people who asked the same question, so wait for that. Why'd I do this? I don't know. The almighty Jensen McDonald asks, if there was one thing you could change about Pokemon, what would it be? A lot of things. I would change the difficulty. It's really easy, and it's not that challenging. But you can always turn the battle option to set instead of switch. But a lot of things that I would change were actually resolved in ORAS, like the ability to fly into routes, to fly on a Pokemon, to soar, to see a Pokemon before we encounter it, with the Pokemon, with the Dex Nav. Also, in healing Pokemon on routes was a thing in ORAS, because you can just make a secret base or go to your base on that route. And but that's why I feel Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were the most immersive Pokemon games, because they really allowed you to get into the nature and get into the Pokemon world in ways that you couldn't before. Okay, well, Twindle Productions, The Gaming Cynical, and Shulk asked the same question that the Insane Gamer asked, which was, what would be the Pokemon that I would be if I was a Pokemon? Okay. I would be a Mew, because I could transform into any Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, how is that not the answer? I would be a Mew, still have the base stats of a Mew. Wait, is that how transforming works? Do you keep the base stats? I don't remember. I don't use transform. I don't use Mew and or Ditto. Forgot Ditto's name for a second. Wow, I was gonna say Sceptile. Story Tepper and the Crafter Prince both ask if you could have any Pokemon instead of be. What would it be? What Pokemon would it be that you would have? It would be a Mew. So I can have every Pokemon and still have legendary level stats. But if Mew doesn't count because he could transform, it would be a Rayquaza. A Mega Rayquaza would be amazing. I could fly everywhere. I could do things. That also answers David Bonilla, or Bonilla, I don't know, I'm sorry. That also answered his question. Ovi asks, what is your advice for new Pokemon PokeTubers? I made a list for you. I will read it. Not that I know how, but this is what I did, I guess. Well, first you have to be consistent in the type of videos you make. Try to make every video that Try to make every video better than the previous one. That helps a lot. Find at least one original series of videos to make. For example, I make my Pokemon reviews, my Pokemon music reviews, and I don't know any PokeTuber that does that. Get a good microphone. That should be step number 1. Get a good mic. Get a good mic. This is I'm not using a pop filter right now, so that may have hurt your ears. And most importantly, start to collaborate with other PokeTubers and, you know, even ask for shoutouts from them like this. Hey everybody, go check out Ovi's channel. His channel is amazing. It's awesome. Go check it out. Nolis or Nolis564 asks, is there any Pokemon related YouTuber that you would like to make a collab with? Well, Jaywitz, but that's not realistic. So more realistically would be Mr. 1UPS. But I would actually love to narrate a Pokemon video for Did You Know Gaming. That would be amazing. That needs to happen. Do something about it, guys. Next Gen Gamers asks, that's confusing because his channel name is plural, but I'm presenting him as a singular. Okay, whatever. Nobody cares. Next Gen Gamer asks, will you do battle videos, tips, tricks, or even Let's Plays? Well, I really want to do Let's Plays, and it's all a matter of when and how. Maybe when I move out of this room. But I'm not much of a competitive battler, so I don't know if I'm going to do battle videos. But it would be amazing to watch me fail at Pokemon Showdown. That would be amazing. So the answer is I want to, but I don't know how or when. All of these lovely people ask, what is my favorite and least favorite Pokemon game? My favorite game is Alpha Sapphire, but I do think Heart Gold and Soul Silver were better. But I just enjoyed Alpha Sapphire the most out of any game. Emerald does count as Emerald it ties with that title. And my least favorite Pokemon game is probably Red. Fire Red is way better, like 5 times better. So why not get Fire Red? Chris Mendez asks, what's your favorite food? The usual, you know, the classic pizza, sushi, chicken related dishes, potatoes, nothing special, but I'm a huge fan of mangoes. Mangoes are the best. There should be a mango Pokemon. And if there's a cherry Pokemon, there should be a mango Pokemon. What is this? Grace also asks, when did you start liking Pokemon and why? I started watching the anime as a kid and that drew me into the Pokemon world. But I became a huge fan once I saw the Pokemon movie, I guess. 42440 asks, who is your favorite PokeTuber and why? Congratulations from Argentina. Thank you. Glad to know people in Argentina enjoy my videos. Okay, well, I think my favorite PokeTuber is probably M&J TV PokeVids and Bulbatube and Almighty Mandals because they were the people that I collaborated with. You know, they were stupid enough to collaborate with me. I'm kidding, they're the best. But Marco Gaming 64 asks, do you like cheese? No, I love cheese. I am a cheese connoisseur. Kelvin and 8-Bit Snowman want to know my friend code. No. 8-Bit Snowman also asks, do you remember my super cool Rattata? My Rattata is different from regular Rattata. It's like my Rattata is in the top percentage of Rattata. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you saying you're Joey? Are you Joey? Are you a fictitious character? I don't know. Quentin asks, how do you bob if I can bob better? Because I'm not Bob, that's why. And he asks, what's your favorite Pokemon? Sceptile, next question. Awesome K asks, favorite Pikachu ripoff? Dedenne. Simple Fuse asks, can you name your #1 favorite Pokemon from each generation? By the way, #Sceptile's the best. Just go watch my top 10 favorite Pokemon video and find out. Enjoy. Valentina Mendez asks, if you will have to pick in between Mew and Mewtwo, which one would you pick? For a Pokemon battle, I would choose Mewtwo, but to have one in real life, I would choose a Mew. Makes sense. Pawan Kumar asks, what was the first Pokemon you caught? I think it was a Wurmple, and I also think that was my first Pokemon to ever evolve. Cool, right? Ryan Duong asks, would you rather be a level 100 Muck or level 1 Dragonite? And he knows that level 1 Dragonite is impossible. I would choose a level 1 Dragonite because I could just level up. No Apparent Logic wants to know if I pronounce Rayquaza like Rayquaza or Rayquaza. I actually pronounce it like this. Marco Kundak asks, how hard are the games on a scale of 1 to 10? I'd say 7 out of 10, too much water? Just kidding, I'd say it's a 6, it's easy. If you're an adult, it's hard, it's easy, but if you're If you're a child, it's pretty challenging at times. Diego Phobic asks, what's your favorite Pokemon that Ash ever had? I loved his Sceptile. I loved it. I loved him. I want it. Starflame34 asks, what series season of the Pokemon anime was your favorite, i.e. Diamond and Pearl, Advanced Battle, etc.? It was probably Advanced Battle because the Hoenn League was really fun to watch, and Ash wasn't dumb at the time. He was good at battling. He wasn't annoying. He didn't ask stupid questions. He wasn't annoying. He was a good trainer. He didn't act like a derp. Daniel and Tim want to know, what is my favorite episode of the anime? Johto photo finish, the battle, the second part of the battle against Harrison in the Silver League Conference, or whatever it's called. But watching that battle, it was an intense battle. Watching a battle with a Pokemon that hasn't been released yet, aka Blaziken, was amazing. It was mind-blowing, it was fun. And that was the episode where Gary finally he became a likable person, and he transcended Ash at that point. Good times. Who do you think is the best developed character in the whole Pokemon series? Gary! Because we find out a lot about him. We know a lot about him, I guess. And he's the only character whose personality and attitude changes throughout the series in a natural way. It flows. He goes from an obnoxious brat to like a rival, and then he even surpasses Ash in maturity and becomes a person with better goals and intelligence. But it reminds me a little bit of Zuko's character development in Avatar, which was the best character development in any series ever. Ethan and Julius want to know some of my favorite gym designs. The Sootopolis gym looks really nice. It has a really fun puzzle. I always love doing that ice puzzle. Shallow's City. It's impressive. It's impressive looking gym. It really looks nice. A lot of the X and Y gyms look good, like Anastar and Salar City, Coumarine City. All have very nice looking interiors. My favorite gym exterior is actually Mistralton Gyms. The airport is it's a nice vibe going on there. Fudgy9 asks, when you watched the Pokemon movie, Pokemon the first movie, did you cry? Of course, I cried for days. Rasmus asks, do you have a favorite moment from playing that you can't seem to forget? I remember playing Pokemon Emerald and trying to catch Rayquaza for like 2 hours. I kept on resetting. It took me like at least 20 times to capture him. So for 2 hours, I was listening to that Weather Trio battle music, and that's why it's so ingrained in my mind. And I still don't. I love it. And I don't hate it at all. So that's pretty amazing to listen to the same theme for 2 hours and still love it. And I also can't seem to forget losing to Steven in Alpha Sapphire. That was a big moment. It was like one of my first losses that's in recent memory. And it was just a hard battle. I beat him after the second try, and it was awesome because I beat him with my Sceptile, like with my starter Pokemon. It was great to defeat him with your best Pokemon, with your favorite Pokemon. Aosa O'Laughlin asks, what has been the saddest moment for you involving Pokemon? Tell us a story. When my sister was 2 and I was 10, she threw my Game Boy Advance along with my Pokemon Emerald cartridge into the toilet. It was the worst thing ever. Oh, but surprisingly, the Pokemon Emerald did survive, and I still play to this very day. So that's pretty awesome. So I guess it's not that sad. So an even sadder story is when I finally got to a Frontier Brain in Pokemon Emerald, and the power went off. Yeah, the power, it just shut down. It was the worst thing ever. Inferno115 asks, how do you get so good at editing, making quality videos? Since I answered that question, I'll answer the rest of his questions. What motivates you? What motivates me is, this may sound corny, but the nice things that you guys say in the comments, it really makes me want to make more videos, because you give me some really nice feedback. It's like 99% positive feedback is the best thing ever. So that's what motivates me. What do you ever feel too swamped by other real-world things to make videos? Almost every week I feel a lot of pressure from schoolwork, and it's tough to make videos at times. But I gotta, I gotta do it because I do love making the videos. It's just all a matter of time. It's all a matter of the pressure. I enjoy making the videos. It's just all a matter of having so much pressure. Just know that if I don't upload for 2 weeks in a row, it's either that I have a good reason for it, or that the next video that will be released is the best video ever, and I was just taking a long time to edit it. I just grabbed these. Now FL Remakes. He says, I remember in the beginning when you had less than 500 subs. You've come a long way since then. Congrats, mate. You truly deserve each sub. And my question is, what do you think the next Pokemon games will be? A remake, sequel, prequel, or a new generation? What would you prefer? I prefer Pokemon Z, and that's what I think is going to be the next game. But I really need it to be a sequel. Like, I don't want it just to be, you know, that third game that we always get. Because Black and White 2 were amazing. They were one of my favorite games, and it truly was an amazing experience when I played them. I would love to have that again. I Flied asks, if you could implement something in the next Pokemon game, what would it be? I demand the Emerald Battle Frontier in Pokemon Z, or else I would get really, really pissed. Emerald was my favorite game, and the reason is because I think the Battle Frontier, the post game, was amazing, and the Battle Frontier was challenging, and it was fun, and it was awesome. Yeah. Bruh Games Lao asks, if you were to make a Pokemon game, not Pokemon Z, what would you make? A remake of Diamond and Pearl. But since that will probably happen in the future, probably in like 5 years, I would actually like a 3D game that is. I would actually like a 3D game set in Kanto. Maybe it'll be a different, you know, story. Maybe it won't follow Red because we already have two games like that. Yeah. Michael asks, if God sneezes, do we say bless you? No, you don't. Hamza Chaudhry asks, where can I catch Mew 3? You know that old man in Viridian City? You know, the one on the floor that wants his coffee? Yeah, that's Mew 3 in disguise. Just talk to that guy. Food Craver asks, if you had to learn a Pokemon move, what would it be? Teleport. I mean, duh. The Michael asks, what's your favorite movie? My favorite movies are The Godfather, Shawshank Redemption, The Incredibles, Dark Knight, Toy Story 2. Yep. Black Hurum asks, which Pokemon do you wish to have a regular evolution? My answer would have been Absol, but then it got a Mega Evolution. So I think it would be Dunsparce. It should have like a fairy dragon evolution. That would be awesome. Frankie Myers and Jake Tomlin asks, who my least favorite Pokemon is. I don't know if it's 100% my least favorite, but Simipour may be my least favorite Pokemon. I just really don't like its design, and it's just, I don't hate it, but I just don't like it. Ali, Awesome, and Hansel ask, which Pokemon I think needs a Mega Evolution? I'm going to disqualify Flygon because everybody thinks Flygon should get a Mega Evolution. I guess my answer would be Mega Tropius, and second would be Mega Nidoking and Nidoqueen alongside that. The Insane Gamer asks another question, and his question is, if you decide to do something non-Pokemon related, what would it be? It would be a channel either about animation or a channel where I, you know, make animations. And that's probably, I will probably make animations in the future for this channel in the future. Not now. Super Gunner XD asks, are you ever going to do a top 10 Pokemon theories video? Only if I can find 10 Pokemon theories that nobody talked about, you know, interesting ones. He also asks, are you going to do a top 10 for Gen 4 or 5 songs video? 100%. My Gen 5 and 4 have soundtracks that I would like to talk about forever, and I may make top 20 videos for those generations. He also asks, are you ever going to make any Pokemon anime related videos, such as your favorite anime generations or something? Of course, Gen 4 in the anime is the best. He says that, not me. I will probably make an anime related video, but probably not a video about my top 10 seasons, because I don't wanna. Bobby Smith asks what my favorite gym leader is. I'm not gonna tell you my #1 favorite gym leader because I really want to make a video about that. But I can tell you that, you know, it's gonna be like a top 5 or top 10. But I'll tell you that Flannery, Charon, and Brock are on the list because they're cool. Hey True Green, have you ever caught? This is Marcus O'Donnell, by the way. Have you ever caught the Poochyena May shows you in the beginning of the Pokemon ORAS? I tried to, but it just wouldn't get in the freaking ball, and so I knocked it out. How to asks, what's wrong with your friend M&J TV? He's probably talking about Michael, and well, everything's wrong with him except his channel. His channel's really good. Joshua Nig, I don't know how to pronounce this. Let's say Joss. Have you seen the Japanese Slowpoke video called Yadon? If you haven't, go do it now. I've seen it. It's crazy. I'm gonna watch it again soon. Thank you for reminding me. Jonathan Picard asks, what are you looking for in the future of the anime, like for the characters and the goals? I just want Ash to become more mature and progress through his journey and finally at least make it to second place in the Kalos region. If not, at least to make him get together with Serena. I don't know. At least just one date. One date. Like a real date. Yeah. His second question is too long to answer, which is top 10 things you're looking for in the next main Pokemon games. That could be like a whole video. But, so yeah, maybe I'll make a video about that even. Poke Waffles asks me in every video when I'm going to do a review of End's Farewell theme. The answer is when I make a top 15 Univa music video. I may even make a top 20 for that region, because the soundtrack is amazing. But you will have to wait for the end of spring for that video, because I already have a lineup of videos that I need to make. Camille wants to know what team I would pick for each generation using only Pokemon from each generation, and I answered him on Facebook. I gave him an answer for Generation 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, for Gen 1, it would be Venusaur, Lapras, Zapdos, Nidoking, Arcanine. Yes, and that's the team I have in Generation 1. Not in Generation 1, I have in Fire Red, that team. It's an amazing team. And Gen 2 would be Feraligatr, Ampharos, Umbreon, Espeon, Ho-Oh, and Kingdra. That's a badass sounding team, like, think of that. Henry asks, what's your parents' ethnicities? Both of them are Israeli, but my mother's parents were from Lebanon, and my dad's parents were from Egypt. Both sides immigrated to Israel when they were children. Proto Turtle asks, on a scale of pi to 1, how orange is 18th side of the 12th dimension of the 7th corner of the octagon? Answer this with your best guess, and I will include the answer later. The answer is obviously green. It's always green. Endor Warlock asks, my favorite Pokemon from each type. I'll give you 5 that don't appear in my top 10 Pokemon list. Fighting type would be Pangoro. Dark type would be Malamar. Psychic type would be Gardevoir. Steel type would be Metagross. And favorite electric type is Luxray and or Joltik. But all of these are subject to change. Okay, Victor Nash says, I've never met a fellow Pokemon fan whose favorite Pokemon was also Sceptile, so I'm curious as to what makes it your favorite, and does it bother you like it bothers me just a little that they made its special attack stat higher than its physical stat, when the majority of its move set is physical. And I just want to say you have a fantastic channel, and watching some of your top 10s has really given me a great appreciation for the soundtracks of games, so keep up the great work. Wow, okay, thank you. Yes, it actually does make me angry because some of my fondest memories of Sceptile were from Emerald and just using Leaf Blade here and there, and now Leaf Blade is just not the best attack to use with the Sceptile. And just I want to use Leaf Blade on my Sceptile. It's just fun. It was made for Sceptile. Now it's not his signature move, and it's just annoying. Luna Rules 19 asks, do you usually buy the red lines of games, red, gold, ruby, pearl, black, and Y, or the blue lines, blue, silver, sapphire, diamond, white, and X? It would be a mix of both. I got ruby, diamond, heart gold, X, and alpha sapphire, so with the exception of ORAS, I just actually got the first versions of the games, and my brother would get the second. Except we both have ruby, which was a stupid idea. Terrible mistake. Asad bin Emran asks, what would your perfect Pokemon game be? Like, go nuts. You know, what would your dream Pokemon game be? made a list, and I'm gonna read it. It would have to have a huge battle frontier, 3 regions. Yeah, that's right, 3. A story with an amazing plot twist, like how Blue was the champion. I want a plot twist so badly. One that I wouldn't see coming. The ability to choose to play as any age between 8 and 18 would be nice. Pokemon that follow you. The ability to actually sit on the champion throne and battle against challengers would be awesome. You know, characters that are relatives of characters from other games would be amazing. Characters that return from other games, just like how Black 2 was a sequel. And the ability to soar, surf, and dive with any Pokemon in the overworld would be amazing. And the ability to run from a Pokemon right when you encounter it, before you actually enter the battle, just so like if you know you don't want to battle this Pokemon, you just run before you even get the chance to like do anything. Unless it has an arena trap, which would make sense that you can't escape from it. Yoshi Joey 98 wants to know my opinion on Pokemon Shuffle. I haven't played it, but I hear it's very fun. Although the fact that you have to, pay to play as much as you want does annoy everybody. But I personally think that it's a good idea for a game, and that but it would be way better if it was an iPhone game. Way better. Shadow Ninja Girl asks, what would be your favorite Pokemon team from all generations combined together? And what Pokemon or trainer would be on your zombie apocalypse team? I could answer both questions with the same answer, actually, technically. But I would have Sceptile as the leader and Speed Fighter, Arcanine as the main fighter, Rayquaza so I can fly over the zombies, Gardevoir so she can shield me from everything. You guys all know Gardevoir's thing. Blissey so to heal us up, and Lucario so he can be my scout, and we can communicate through aura. I think that's a good idea. A Little Red Hero asks, what would you do if you got stuck on an island? What kind of equipment would you use for survival? I would learn how to make a fire and find food. I mean, I don't know if this is a serious question or not. Like is this real life? Is this like a real life question? I mean, I would use a knife. I would like to have a knife there. I mean, that seems very handy in a real situation like this. And 228 some guy asks a lot of questions because he's a new subscriber and he doesn't know a lot about me. So he asks, what's your favorite Pokemon? Sceptile. Favorite starter? Prequel. Favorite legendary? Watch my favorite legendary video. Favorite mega? Watch my favorite mega video. I'm recommending these videos to have a good time. Pokemon, favorite generation of Pokemon Hoenn, favorite Pokemon Remake, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But yeah. Pokemon movie, favorite movie or movies, I answered that before. Favorite TV show or TV shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Favorite kinds of music, alternative rock, alternative pop. Yeah. So favorite food, I answered that before. Favorite color. Favorite game or games aside from Pokemon. Mario games. And finally, what is your favorite country, culture, region? Favorite country, USA. Favorite culture, Judaism is technically a culture, I guess. So yeah, the culture that I take part of. And that's it for today, guys. If I didn't answer your question, that means you either didn't ask a question, or that you asked a question that I answered in my previous video, in my previous Q&A. So either go check that out. Anyways, I will still reply to your questions that I didn't answer here in the comment section of my announcement video. So check that out once this video is announced, once you watch this video. And I'll see you guys very soon, because my next video will be the best.